Hello there, my name is ChrisTenarium, and today I'm playing the Outbreak, Episode 1! Now, these are episodial releases. I think there's a couple months between every one, but they're kinetic novels. Now, the guy says the kinetic novel it's still niche, it's still something you can do, and I would agree to some extent. Good kinetic novels can arise. But some games do need choices. The detective game I played, let's say, like a few months back, that needed choices. That was bad as a kinetic novel. And I'm scared of this kind of being the same thing. Plus, holy fuck, the window of this is so goddamn small. Sometimes you wonder, well, ChrisTenarium, you know, the quality of the thing, it doesn't look right. Yeah, it's because I've got to stretch it, because the window looks so fucking small. So there are no black bars when it's gone on YouTube. And these character models, they aren't the highest quality of all time. So stretched, they're going to look even weird. So I apologise for that. But without further ado, let's get cracking. Apparently it's 15 minutes long, so it will be a one-part playthrough. You guys can let me know if you want to see any more. I imagine... I don't think episode 5 is actually out yet. So episode 4 will probably be on Halloween. Just, you know, for effect and YOLO, right? Let's actually see if this is scary or not, or let's see if it's complete shit. It had been only a couple of minutes after Ben woke up when Nurse Amy arrived with his breakfast. Alright, well, we're in the 60s. Everything's black and white. Oh my god, it's a profile picture which looked like something out of Resident Evil. Good morning, Ben. How are you feeling today? Another long night of tossing and turning from the cold sweat of delirium, of heroin withdrawal, had made Ben exhausted. Okay, so there is a narrator, like a ghost in the room just thinking about this. He looked thin and frail in his 28-year-old body, but the young nurse's warmth gave him strength. I'm sure that's not the only thing. Not too bad, I guess. Okay, he does look like a bit of a heroin addict. Saying that, he looks a little bit too tan to be a heroin addict. He also looks like he's packing some weight on those cheeks. And a beard. Amy looked down at Ben with caring eyes, and he knew he couldn't lie to her. Last night was rough, though. Having trouble sleeping again? Yeah, I was up all night. I had a feeling you were still having problems, but I think there's something we can do about that. Oh my god, it's... Alright, let's see if this is going where I think it's going. Ben looked at Amy with a curious grin. Just don't tell anyone I gave you this, okay? She then proceeded to close the curtains around her and get on the bed. No, it probably doesn't say that. Sure, what is it? Amy reached into her pocket and dropped a plastic-wrapped cookie onto Ben's tray. Ben picked it up and saw the word special printed in red letters on the wrapper. Whoa! It's a bit offensive. I think you'll find there's nothing wrong with my mental state. Ben looked back at Amy astonished. Is this what I think it is? I wouldn't know anything about that. All I see is a delicious-looking cookie. Right. This is slightly odd. Also, it's odd how I'm in a hospital and I'm wearing a hoodie. Well, it's not I'm not Ben. I'm the narrator, but, you know, whatever. Amy gave Ben a sly smile, and Ben caught on instantly. You know, at second glance, I don't think I can see anything special about this cookie at all. Ben returned the sly gesture and Amy laughed, placing her hand on Ben's shoulder. Good, now enjoy your breakfast. I'll be back to check up on you in a couple of hours. Wait, did she just give him heroin? In the form of a cookie? No, it must be something else. You don't just do that. Right. Ben looked into Amy's eyes with a glowing smile. You're the best. I'm sure a heroin addict would say... You're the best. Gee, Squire. Oh, Lord. Ben watched from his hospital bed as Amy left the room. Then, almost like ritual, he removed the wrapper from the cookie and took a big bite, ready to drift off wherever his mind wandered. Again, remember, this is a horror game. So far, we know he's a heroin addict, and the nurse just gave him a cookie. That's all I know at the moment. The university lecture hall was packed full of medical students. Adam had just started his second year of medical school a few weeks prior, and the demanding routine was already beginning to take a toll on him. So there are several characters. As Dr. Mayers droned on with his lecture, Adam peered around the hall at the other students who looked upon the grey-haired professor as focused and determined as ever. Alright, this guy definitely isn't a heroin addict. In fact, he looks like some hell of a major. How do they do it? How do they put up with this monotony day after day? Maybe Amber was just tired of the endless hours of studying and the numerous other pressures that came with being a medical student. Or maybe it was something else entirely. Either way, he felt distracted, disconnected. Right. Want you guys to judge something for me? This background thing, look, hang on, we'll destroy it quickly, because it's a Renpy visual novel, I know my way around it. Is that a picture, which has a Photoshop filter on it, or has someone drawn that? The only reason I think that it might be a photo is because these chairs, they're even curved, everything. I don't know, I'm sure one of you'll know. Lost in thought, he stared off into space, wondering what he'd be doing right now if he hadn't gone back to medical school this year. Having a wank and a pot noodle. Over the summer, he had fantasized about taking time off from school, but he couldn't help but feel obligated to wait until he graduated before doing anything else. Like any honourable student? Ha! Honouring student. And besides, if he had left school, he may have had to break up with his girlfriend Kate, and the fact alone was enough to end him contemplating. Wonderful. Maybe this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. I just have to be patient. Adam nodded his head in slight agreement, then refocused his attention back to Dr. Mayers, joining his fellow classmates in listening once again. He's probably missed most of the fucking lecture by now. Oh? It's gone a bit fucking magical on us, the music. Amidst the high of a drug-scented ecstasy, the halls of the hospital shine like dew on a spring morning, and for once the Drury Hospital seemed alive and buzzing with activity. So the nurse did just give him a cookie with drugs in it. Oh, good. Ben drifted from floor to floor, striking up conversations with nurses and patients and passers-by alike. He had never been this cheerful on previous occasions, but today he felt reborn. Ben had been clean for 5 days straight now, and despite the usual spontaneous aches and jitters from withdrawal, he had a deep feeling inside himself that things would be different this time. This time I will beat it, this time I will drop the habit for good. So what's she giving him? Okay. Upon striking up a conversation with the receptionist, this is supposed to be a horror game. I'd just like to take a step back and point out, this is supposed to be a horror game. Is anyone scared? No? No? Okay, didn't think so. Ben locked eyes with Amy as she returned from escorting her patient outside. He gave her a smile and wave, and she returned the gesture as she made her way into the elevator. It wasn't so much that Amy was charming and attractive that Ben admired her, but that she so selflessly cared for others without judgment or reservation. Life as a junkie had not been so honourable for Ben, as motivations lied more in securing the next fix than caring for others. Ben wondered if he was even capable of caring for himself, let alone another human being. Well, it's not very cheerful. I'll give him that. Oh, now we've got someone screaming in the background. Again, doesn't quite fit with this music. That appears to be a problem with lots of visual novels, the ones which aren't commercial, is that trying to get good music on it is really difficult. As Ben made his way back to the quarters in the 5th floor, he heard some screaming at the end of the hallway. Curious, he walked briskly towards the noise, and when he peered out around the corner, he saw a male patient lashing out at a doctor while 3 other nurses pinned him down to a hospital bed, injected him with a tranquilizer and secured him with restraints. Once the hectic scene was over, Ben hurried back to his room, frightened and unsure of what he had just seen. Well, it's a magical tranquilizer, clearly. That way the music would make sense. It was just a disturbed patient. This probably happens all the time. There's nothing to worry about. Ben lay down in bed, and after a few minutes of tossing and turning, he eventually fell asleep. Minutes. That's how much it bothered him. Oh my god, I've just seen someone put down the trick. Oh my god, that looks so... You know. Oh well. Am I going to get killed? Oh no, we're back with Adam. Another long day of school now over, Adam set back off home to his apartment across the vast university campus. The weather was warm and sunny, and with a cool breeze that made him regret being inside all day. What a shame, another perfect day wasted. A few minutes later, Adam received a phone call from Kate. Hello? Hey, you home yet? Are these supposed to be mugshots of people who have been brought to prison and that's what he's been using? Yo, I'm actually on my way home now. How about you? Same here. I just left work a few minutes ago. Are we still on for dinner tonight? Yeah, definitely. Great. See you around 7? Sounds good. Right. The call ended, and after a few minutes more of walking, Adam exited the university campus and entered the streets of the city. As Adam waited at a busy intersection, he saw several police cars speed by with their sirens blazing. I wonder if there was an accident or something. What else would it be? You'd have heard about it if it was terrorists by now. What else is it going to be? You know, the stoplight turned red. Stoplight. Is that what it's called in good old Yankland? They're called traffic lights. You know. And Adam walked across the street. Then the car music stopped. We're not in that place anymore. Then made his way over to a wine shop another block down. Upon entering... Yeah, okay, this is definitely photos with the Photoshop filter. you can't fucking draw that. Upon entering the wine shop, a pleasant aroma struck Adam's nose. He browsed leisurely through the shop, searching for wine selection for the perfect bottle to complement tonight's dinner. After a short while, he settled on a fine bottle of red wine, purchased it at the counter, then exited the shop. As he re-entered the streets of the city, Adam saw a multitude of police cars, ambulances and other emergency vehicles pass by in a hurry. Damn, whatever happened must have been serious. Well done, Captain Obvious. He figured it wouldn't hurt to walk a couple more blocks to satisfy his curiosity, and he followed in the direction of the sirens. Eventually, he reached the back of the crowd of pedestrians flooding the perimeter of Memorial Hospital, while numerous emergency workers and police officers surrounded the front entrance. Had someone been killed? Well, this is interesting. Are we going to find out what happened? Okay, so this is where it's going to come together. Was the girl murdered by any chance? If that's it, we're saying goodbye to this. If the woman was murdered, we're leaving. Ben sat anxiously on the side of his bed, waiting for some sort of response from Amy. He had heard more commotion and frantic screams throughout the 5th floor hallway, and no one seemed to have any idea what was going on. He figured the best idea was to stay put until further notice, but each minute that went by seemed to last a lifetime. Eventually, he couldn't stand to wait any longer for a response. He picked up the phone next to his bed to page a nurse, a receptionist, anyone. Luckily, just before he started dialing, Amy entered the room. Thank God you're here, what the hell is going on? Amy was obviously shaken up, but trying to get her best to hold it together. The other patients, they've become unstable. Outbreak. Zombies. Should have seen it coming, really. Should have seen it coming. Don't know about anyone else, but I am sick of zombie storylines. There is only so much you can write about zombies. Unless you draw them up as sex symbols and write that as a story, it's probably not going to work. You never know. Might be a very good story. Crack on and we'll quit. Well, unstable? What do you mean? Psychotic, like all of a sudden they just snapped and started acting like maniacs. What? How did this happen? I don't know. Patients without any history of mental psychosis are suddenly becoming violent. It's completely irrational. Ben couldn't help but to shake his head in bewilderment, trying to process the situation, and when he looked back at Amy, she was in tears. She'd been feeding them all cookies. Oh, no. Oh, no, don't cry. It'll be okay. That is definitely what you'd say to someone who was going through this. Oh, don't cry. Oh, it will be all right, love. It will be all right. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. It will be fine. Oh dear. Ben moved in closer to console Amy, but she backed away, stricken with grief. No, it's not going to be okay. Dr. Marshall is dead. One of the patients attacked him, beat him to a bloody pulp with his bare hands. I barely made it out of there alive. Ben looked at Amy with a grave stare, completely sobered by the news. We need to get out of here, now. Are we going to run out? Oh, good. Why do those guns almost look photoshopped in? I can tell they're not, because, like, the way two of them are looking, it would be slightly odd if they were. And I mean, what's he doing if he isn't holding a gun? But they look odd. As Adam made his way through the crowd surrounding the hospital, he saw two squads of police officers in riot gear stacking up against each side of the front entrance. Let me guess, do they have orders to kill everyone inside, so we have to escape, right? After a few moments, the command to enter the building was given, and both squads entered swiftly through the front doors of the hospital. A cacophony of screams and gunshots filled the area as a horde of violent patients, visitors and hospitals brutalized the riot officers and streamed out of the building. They're not streaming out, are they? I mean, there's a gate there. I mean, there is a gate there. Hence why everyone is standing in such a perfect line. They're not streaming out. Alright. The crowd immediately erupted into a frenzy, and Adam tried to escape the scene. As he approached the back of the crowd, he saw a frightened little girl standing by herself a short distance away. We're going to save her, aren't we? Out of the corner of his eye, Adam spotted a patient covered in blood moving quickly toward her. Okay then.